I got a question for you. Do you feel safe in America today? Do you? Just a simple question. Just open-ended. Do you feel safe? Do you? Bro, you feel safe in America?
Yeah, I do.
Do you?
I do.
Why?
Well, first and foremost, I have confidence in my capacity to keep myself safe as far as I can, see a threat coming. But beyond that, I have faith that there are more good people doing good work than bad people doing bad work. I got to keep that faith.
You feel safe, Woodlawn?
Sometimes. Sometimes. It depends on what's going on within the news and how close it is to me, the proximity of it. So there are times I wake up and cut the news on and I see what's going on, and I'm not as confident about my safety.
So where is it you don't feel safe?
Depends on the setting. Right now, kids aren't safe in school.
I'm asking you about you, not kids.
Well, it just depends. Sometimes I don't feel safe out and about. Sometimes I get a little nervous when police get behind me. Let me see. There is a fear that I have from time to time when it depends on race relations or me being a woman. So those are type of things that make me nervous. Sometimes being a woman puts me at risk of things, or sometimes me being black puts me at risk of things. It just depends.
So I ask you, where do you normally? You said sometimes when the police get behind you, you don't feel safe. Anywhere else, do you? Is it that where you don't feel safe? Think about it.
I think about it.
So, Ro, I'm coming back to you though. So where do you feel you're safest, Ro?
Shadeville, Mississippi.
Shadeville?
That's right.
What?
That's where I and my family own a significant amount of land, and I kind of have an understanding of that land, what's on it, what's not on it, what should be on it, what shouldn't be on it. So when I go back up to the woods and down the red dirt road to my mama's house and to my little plot behind her, that's when I feel the most safe. Most safe.
So Jerry Parkman, I see you listening there. You tell me, where do you feel most safe?
Morning, Jerry.
So where do you feel safest? Where do you feel safest, Whitlaw? And there's no trick question. I've got this idea, and it's no trick question. There's nothing hidden here. It's just an observation.
I feel my most safe is when I'm at home at times, or if I'm in a space where I'm around my loved ones, and I feel like I'm around the right people, right support system. That could be anywhere. Just depends on the company.
But you feel safest at home?
Yes, for the most part, yes.
Yeah. It's important. Yeah, we're going to talk about it, because I'm going to tell you where we are now in America. I think it boils down to that. Where you feel safe. I think this whole concept of fear is motivating everything from politics to how we deal with each other.
Amen.
What's strange and unusual, I asked several people this yesterday, just randomly strangers. You feel safe? And most said to me they don't feel safe. Then I'd ask the same question. So where do you feel safest? Do you know not one of those individuals said they feel safe at home? None said they feel safe at school. There's something really wrong with that in my mind. And just bear with me here, folks. I don't know if there's been any studies on this or not, but there should be. And I want you to really think about what I'm saying. I have this hypothesis that in the world of politics, conservatives are fueled more by fear, and Democrats, should I say, so-called liberals, are fueled more by compassion. Both are, in my view, could be very debilitating characteristics. You can be too passionate or have too much compassion, and you can certainly be too paranoid, as in fear. I'll get back and further explain in just a little bit. But I was shocked by the fact that here it is, Rip Daniels, growing up in the years of Jim Crow, when little boys were being taken and dumped into creeks and with chains around their throats, or for that matter, when young school-age boys my age, there in and around Gulfport High, Gulfport East, Gulfport East Junior High, were being shot down in the street. And by the way, there were several. And some were shot down by law enforcement, I don't mind telling you. You understand that even during those days, I always felt safe. I felt beyond a shadow of a doubt safe. Especially at home. If you don't feel safe in your house, there's something wrong here in America, ladies and gentlemen. And it doesn't mean that you live in a bunker, but every child should have a certain sense of safety and comfort in knowing that when they're at home, they ain't got to worry about a thing. And I felt that. I lived with Superman and his wife Superwoman. And no one was going to attack little old blonde-haired Rip Daniels. I can tell you that right now. When that door was closed, it was like the world, I don't care who it was, that it was invincible. A child needs that kind of comfort. I don't think they have it anymore. You think they have it now? Whitlock, on an average, do you think the average young person, older person, feels safe?
No, I don't.
Why?
A number of things. The news, the things that are happening right in our backyards. I think maybe people just felt that they were safe before. Maybe, maybe they didn't know the danger. Because, I mean, it's bad. Every day we wake up to madness. And it doesn't...
You think it's any different? I mean, I guess the reason why I'm asking this is...
I wouldn't know, as you always tell me.
Well, but there's history. I mean, you're able to read about it. You're able to go back and track as you have.
I don't think it was ever safe. I just think...
But it was. We felt it was safe.
We felt that it was.
We did feel it was safe. There's no doubt about that.
Perception of safety, but that doesn't mean you were. So, I mean...
Well, hang on. But we were safe. The idea of feeling safe doesn't necessarily mean that something can't happen. It's just that you're confident with the fact that it is unusual. You would doubt that it would. So I ask you, where do you feel safe? Not whether or not you are or were.
Well, I don't.
And was curious
for
and
a while.
What's curious about that here is why. I have an idea about that too. Why? Why do you feel safe, America? I'm just going to open the lines here, 228-896-9455. And no trick questions, nothing like that. I hope you don't mind my just in delving into why your reasons is. If you feel safe, fine, call me. If you don't feel safe, call me. I just did kind of a random check. It's interesting the differences between Whitlock and Rowe. Rowe felt safe, but he felt safe of home. Safest. Why? Why would you feel safer there? Any great protection? You got a wall. You've got.
Got a lot of trees. Got a lot of guns too.
You know what was the greatest fear in my day from my mother and father? You never guess. You want to try? Yeah.
From them or?
Well, the greatest thing they fear, if my father had any fear, and he did, it was not, I wouldn't call it a fear, it was a concern, or what drove him to great lengths. You know what it was? We want to guess?
The refrigerator being empty on Saturday morning.
Absolutely. Ping ping. You remembered that.
Yeah.
That's how my daddy measured whether or not he was successful. Whether the refrigerator was full on Saturday morning. And I like to see it full, too.
Me too. I think about that every Saturday morning.
When my dad woke up on Saturday mornings, I've got news for you. If he walked up and he saw that refrigerator not full, listen to me, it was hell in the house. Especially for my mama. And my dad very rarely would get upset. Why is there no food in this house for these children? Whoa. Wasn't about his big piece of chicken. It was like this great concern and fear that you were not going to eat. My dad would leave from working at the grain elevator. He helped build the grain elevator. He worked in concrete. Actually, was a superintendent, a supervisor there. He would leave the grain elevator in Pascagoula, get off work around 5 o'clock, or whenever the concrete got hard, and sometimes that may have been 7 or 8. And on his way home, he would stop at the Rock Pile, which is just out from Courthouse Road in the Gulf of Mexico, and fish, just so we'd have meat to eat with our red beans. Really. Stop. Just knew he was going to catch 2, 3 large speckled trout or flounder. He would always take a little crab net just in case, but his whole thing was he had to get meat for us to eat. And his greatest fear was that he wouldn't have that. I don't doubt my Uncle L.C. was the same, and Mr. T.R. McBride across the street, and my Uncle Earl, and all of those individuals, if they had any kind of concern and or fear, it was that they would not be able to feed their families. Because they knew they were going to be safe. Uncle L.C. had chicken. Matter of fact, everybody had chicken. Well, my daddy didn't have chicken. He had a garden. But I think that where we are now, there's a certain kind of paranoia happening.
Definitely.
I think it's been going on ever since, I don't know, I got an idea about that, but I'm not going to tell you. I want to see what you think. Here we are in great USA with a whole lot of technology and a whole lot of ability to communicate, and y'all don't feel safe. What's the matter? You know, you have a greater chance of being killed by your next door neighbor than by the police. You believe that, Whitlock? Actually, you have a greater chance of being killed by your own family member than the next door neighbor.
I guess I could agree to that, yeah.
That's what the statistics are showing. The possibility of your being killed by someone you know,
Yeah, that's
family member, is far more likely than your being killed by next door neighbor or the police.
That still won't take away the fear that some people get when they are pulled over by the police and different experiences.
Well, don't speak for them. I want you to speak for
well,
you.
I'm speaking for myself.
Yeah, okay.
Different experiences that I have either witnessed or been through.
So what are you afraid of?
Afraid of being stereotyped and afraid of being judged upon what someone might think I am by how I look, and then something happening in a split second, as we see so often every day in our news.
Something happening, meaning being killed or something?
I mean, it doesn't have to be to that extreme, but yeah, that would be the worst.
Huh. It's in the hands of those who are afraid of the police. I want to put up something on the Facebook page. Simple question. I've got why, do you feel safe? I want to do a second to that. Do you fear the police? And why? So you are afraid that you will be treated unfairly, unjustly?
Yes.
By law enforcement?
Yes. Authority. People misuse their authority. And again, people stereotype. And it doesn't have to be limited just to law. We're just using law in this example. But, I mean, on any realm of life, people can judge you.
How do you react to that fear? How do you react to that concern/fear?
Stay prepared. I
Yeah.
stay prepared, and I know how I would conduct myself in a situation. But, I hate the word fear because it makes, I'm not going to say it makes me sound weak, but it's not like, oh, God. It's not
Well,
like
if you don't
that.
feel safe,
But
there's a certain amount of fear.
Yeah, it is a sense of
Dread?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Dread born out of the fear of something bad happening.
Of the what ifs.
Impending doom.
Yeah.
I'm just searching back in the
Not paranoia.
I'm searching back in the reaches of my mind as to whether or not I had that same fear, even when, young man, strapping buck here in Mississippi. I never had the fear of the police. I can't think of any time that I had the fear of the police. I think if I had some concern and fear, it was because I couldn't afford a ticket. You see, there's one thing different, I think, now as opposed to then as opposed to now, and that's this: I expected injustice. Maybe that's something that you guys were not taught.
We just don't want to accept it. That's all.
What do you mean?
You say you expected it.
Well, I expected it. Oh, yeah.
Okay. We do too. But we also feel like we shouldn't have to be right where we were 50 years ago.
Well, what does that mean? We shouldn't have to. You are. You are where you are. What? Get over it. You are where you are. You are where you are.
You know.
You are where you are.
But then
And
people tell us we've come so far.
well, who are the people? You can look around.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, but I think there's this idealism.
Mighty long way.
I don't know where this idealism
Oh,
came from.
no.
Well, the point is that you
still
are.
standing there.
Well, no,
In the past.
you've made
Okay.
you made a lot of progress. However, you're not building on it. That you act as if somehow or another you're not going to have wrong people, evil people that's going to do bad deeds. You act as if it should just exist and not participate and make sure it doesn't get worse. You know, there's young people have this concept that, okay, well, I'm just here and so everything should be happy-go-lucky. Well, that's a bunch of bull-ish. Because the reality is if by chance you are waiting for someone to do for you and to protect your rights, you're wrong. That is your responsibility every day. Be it from your next door neighbor, be it from a wayward cop or judge. But I think that's it. As we go through this little dissertation, I think my generation, not the old school, the senior class, we did not expect. We knew that it was an unjust system, and so therefore our task was then to understand that and to seek to not let it impair our direction. In other words, it was like, okay, yeah, I know. Number one, my daddy would say, don't go down there and mess with those people. I got you. So I knew exactly what it was, that if by chance I was caught wrong or did something wrong, I was not expecting. First, I had my daddy come bail me out or to come look after me. And secondly, I was not expecting, I would expect the worst. Does that mean that, okay, oh, why does it have to be this way? Oh, that's a bunch of emotional drama, thug bullcrap in my view. But, and I really appreciate you, Whitlock, because you're very genuine and you're very honest, and I like that. It's just, and it's not about right or wrong here either, by the way. It's about an observation. And I think what you said here is maybe fueling some of the paranoia that somehow or another the senior class, reared a generation of individuals who are idealistic and naive enough to think it should just be. Why does it have to be this way? Well, because everybody's different. Every human being's different. And laws, unfortunately, in some cases, are made to be broken. And in other cases, there are laws that need to be changed. They need to change. So do you feel safe, Amir? I mean, just really. And where do you feel safe? Really? There are people, I talked to an individual who's living in an apartment, and she didn't feel safe for her and her kids in her own house. So, well, why don't you feel safe? Because sometimes I hear gunshots, she said, and there are bad people all around me. I say, well, how do you know that they're all around you? Well, they just seem like it. Have they done bad things to you? Well, no, but I know that they can do bad things to me, and so you walk around in this state of flux. You don't even get to know your neighbor? So do you feel safe? And why don't you feel safe? And if there was an environment, as what I'm sure Whitlock would appreciate, if there was some ideal environment where you felt safe, where would that be exactly? You know, ironically, when I was in Zimbabwe, I went to from Zimbabwe down to the Chobe, which is in Zambia, and I was in the mist. I mean, within a few feet of 5-ton elephants and hippos. By the way, I trust the elephants more than the hippos. Hippos don't like anybody.
Hippos don't get.
I don't know why either.
Well, they're hippos.
They're really very cute.
Well, they don't think that.
Well, you know they're kind of red. You know they have a reddish hue because there's that natural some natural suntan lotion. Their body kind of reeks with this red oil.
Huh.
Their cheeks are red. Did you know that?
I didn't know that.
When you see them up close.
Yeah.
You don't want to get real close, but they don't brush their teeth.
Well.
And they don't eat meat, but yet they've got those canines.
They'll eat you.
You know what the canines are for? You know why their teeth are brown?
Why the teeth are what?
Brown. They have brown tusk teeth. Canine.
No.
because they use those to dig in the grass. They dig the root.
For real?
Yeah, yeah. They don't not only eat the grass, they eat the root. That's why the mouth opens almost horizontally.
But to get the root.
That's exactly right. They root it out. It's ironic. Here I am in the midst of all of that. I'm in an environment, ladies and gentlemen, where 250-pound warthogs walk down the street and no one runs from them. I mean, you can see, what do you call a gang of baboons? What do you call a group of baboons? That's not a herd. I mean, I'm talking about, 15, 20, all walking together. Baboons, right there.
Congress.
A Congress, that's what they call it. A Congress. A Congress of baboons.
Ironically.
So here you are, you're tucked away right in the abyss, right in front of the foam and the breath of the Victoria Falls. Very beautiful. Just across the bridge from Livingston, which is in Zambia. Across the bridge from that is Zimbabwe. They're that close. The two countries are that close. I'm in Victoria Falls. And people feel safe. But every year, elephants kill at least 2 people. Hippos kill quite a few more than that. But they just meander around in this environment. And you can't have a rifle. Well, you can have a rifle, but you got to be licensed to have a rifle. Yeah, that's right. You can't just carry it.
It's part of the gun law.
That's right. They got very strict gun laws. No handguns to begin.
Wow.
And you've got animals there that at any given time can crush you. And warthogs are very ugly. I want you to know. I mean, but they have the right way. I was on a reserve, and so they could go anywhere. Lion could go anywhere they want. However, there's one thing that's important. This is the way I'm headed with this story. You got both the pachyderms, the elephants. You got the baboons. You've got the gazelles.
See giraffe? You saw giraffe too, right?
Oh yeah. Giraffes all over. Do you know where they feel safe?
Wherever?
No. In town. You know why?
Why?
The lion's in the bush, brother.
Oh, well, yeah. Yeah. Goes in the dark.
And you gotta understand, when you hear that from us in Darwin, and they say that to you, you're walking around, don't you afraid of these warthogs? No, warthogs don't eat people. Elephants don't eat people. Baboons don't eat people. They'll take your food, though, if you're eating out there, and they'll take you. They have a Kentucky Fried Chicken sitting out in the corner. It was just so strange. You better not. They warn you. You don't sit on the bench eating chicken, because the baboons will run up and take the chicken. And trust me, you don't want to try to take the chicken back from a baboon.
Let the chicken have your chicken. Let the baboon have your chicken. Let him leave with your chicken. Don't try to take it back.
You know what he says? That is a very good dialect. Now here you have all these animals, including mankind, feeling safe. Because the real predator, the apex predator, is safer up here than it is out there. You get that drift?
I get it.
You see where I'm headed with this?
Yeah.
But they feel safe around each other. They feel safe. Because they all know where the apex predator is. The lion is. And the lion. Better be up here, because the lion and the lioness certainly don't want to come. They know where the apex predator is too, or at least the one who has the rifle. There's a method to this madness that I'm talking about here. And here's my method. On any given time, this is during the Great Migration over the Serengeti, or in and around the Chobe, or I can't think of the other place there. Outside of South Africa, you got all these thousands, if not millions, of animals all going in the same direction, in harmony, feeling safe in the strength in numbers, because they know they have a common enemy, I think, and they know that at any given time that enemy can strike, and the only comfort is that they're around each other. what I'm seeing here, though, as a result of maybe social media and some other things, TV, is you guys, you Americans don't feel safe anymore. You feel quite the contrary when you're around a lot of people, be it in school or be it in a major theater. And I think that that's contributing to a certain kind of paranoia that is fueling a certain kind of I think it's fueling a certain kind of politics. There I said it.
Is it new though? Because I feel like the culture of fear has been promoted for a while now. Going back, we had one caller mention the Red Scare.
I think after integration, I think you can trace all of this back to integration. I really can, folks. And there, some of you might disagree. I welcome the call. I think it all goes back to integration. I'm not blaming integration. I'm saying it was as a result of the desegregation of our society, particularly here in the South, that caused a certain kind of paranoia. Particularly in rural areas and particularly in southern states. I do. I think there is and I think the reason for that is because there are some apex predators out there. These are the individuals who would normally be some skinhead or with the Klan or some individual who feels that, you know, because he doesn't have it, he should take it from you, some criminal guy, call him what you want, thug, gangbanger, whatever. Those, the apex predators, see, have created an environment whereby the rest of us feel unsafe because we don't know where he's going to be. And we don't feel safe like the wildebeest with numbers. They don't. Because this person can camouflage. He can be among us, be a family member, go off, get an AR-15, or wear a pointy little hat and call himself a Ku Klux Klan and decide to take advantage of a little tiny girl as she walked to school, or decide to burn a church. So do you feel safe? And if you don't feel safe, well, what is it you're afraid of? Simple question, and it's just a matter of discussion. I'm going to get to the other top news stuff. It's the same old crap you're getting from the White House. Who's fired today, I guess?
VA secretary just got fired.
All right, but I also want you to put up. There was a security guard in the mall that took down a little girl. I want you to pull that up and get me the details in here too, Whitlock, during the break. I know I caught you flat-footed, but I want that. At talking about this, I want to bring this up. It's a situation here that happened. An incredible demonstration of where society has gone, in my view. But first, to the phones here. Simple question. If you would answer right off the bat, I'd appreciate it. Simple question is: do you feel safe? Big Chief, do you feel safe? You're out on the road.
I feel safe on the road.
You do.
I don't feel safe. I don't feel safe for my kids, grandkids, and they're going to be kids.
You don't.
For the police state.
Why?
It's nothing changed. If they change the law, Satan, that police are held accountable for what they do or murder.
Well, it has changed. I can tell you that things have changed now. I mean, the DA has changed. The judges have changed. There have been some other laws placed on the books. There's been some oversight. So there has been some things that have changed.
It's been some changes, real, but very little. Because police can pull you over, and you can end up dead. They didn't have video back then. They just went by their word. They were innocent. Now they got cameras on film, and they still not guilty, real. What that tell you right there?
Well, let me just try this on you, Big Chief, because I'm going to guess you're a little bit. I might be a little bit older than you. Let me try this on you. You did hear what I said regarding the fact that you're far more likely to be killed by a neighbor or a relative than the police. Or
Yes.
would you not agree with that?
I agree with it. If the police, you don't see the police first, you'll more likely to get killed by the police.
I'm sorry?
If I'm not around the police and I don't see them, then you all right. You safe.
Huh.
But like you say, if you're around a neighbor or your cousin, your wife, or somebody got a gun or something happen like that. But anytime you're around the police, more than likely you're going to be abused, knocked down, paid, or dead.
Really? So what gave you, has that ever happened to you? Has anything like that happened close to you? You've ever been abused by law enforcement? Or?
I was abused by law enforcement. I was afraid back then. You know, I was doing some things that I shouldn't have been doing. But the thing about it is real, I was abused. And ever since that day happened, I said, well, you know what? I'm going to change my life. I'm going to go by the law. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do the right thing. I'm going to pull over on my head of my ID. Yes, sir. No, sir. Real. You got some bad police out here. Like I told you the other day. Not all of them. But when you, just like you said, when you're silent, you ain't no different than them. And I don't see a whole bunch of police out here saying, look, this is wrong. This ain't right. People are dying. Real, they keep it to themselves. They don't say nothing. So to me, real, they're a terrorist organization.
Well, you did say you feel safe on the road.
I'm safe in my truck. I got my music playing. I got my Now Later. I got my Coca-Cola. And you know, I got my Sprinkles every I'm in my own little world, real. It's raining over here like that with all.
All right.
Baton Rouge over here.
All right, Big Chief. Appreciate it. Got to take a quick break. We'll be back.
It's about that time to get away. Make your reservations, pack your bag.